Yeah. Proof of mailing? Yes. Declaration of Heidi Budnick on July 30th of 2013. Oh, undeliverable mail. Oh, sheriff's return of service on 8/21. Yeah. But there's no publication in there? No. Now, for some reason, you think that you can have court hearings, but then you don't have court hearings, and then you order mail and publication, but you don't put it that there was publication. Yes. And then the mail's returned unclaimed. Yes. Undeliverable mail. Oh. Now, it's obvious that for you to have court hearings, you have to have service. Now, I know Brett's saying that it's not a condition of being arrested for violating a protection order. But before you consider the arrest of violating a protection order, you have to consider the issuance of the protection order. Oh, see, two crimes don't make a crime right. Yes. If you did what the requirements of the law are, and you made sure that you had proof of service prior to having court hearings, and somebody did commit domestic violence, you have no concerns. But when you don't make sure that you do what the requirements of the law are, that's two crimes, and two crimes don't make a right crime, do they? No. So this concept that the court can arrest somebody when they have knowledge of a protection order without making sure that the individual that they did arrest, that they did do what the requirements of the law are. Now, this is the fallacy of what prosecuting attorneys are believing. We don't have to do what the law requires because we can arrest you, the accused, without proving that we actually did what the law requires. Well, you didn't do what the law requires. See, the service of the order, unless the respondent or the respondent's lawyer was present at the hearing, this order must be served on the respondent. Oh. The respondent must know what restraint provisions are in place and when the order expires. Now, the prosecuting attorneys have said, well, it's not important if the respondent knows what the restraint provisions are, and it's not important if the respondent knows when it expires. It's kind of like issuing a protection order, yes, where I know that it exists, but I don't know what it says because I looked on the court's website. I don't know what the restraint provisions are. I don't know when it expires. I had this problem in 2013 where you had called me on the telephone, Swim Sheriff's Department, and I walked over there, pooch, but I did actually see it in publication, but I could not figure out where you had mailed it to, considering my homelessness. Yes. Now, I had a certain number of days before the court hearing where I myself was making a decision. Yes. Did I want to go to the court hearing or did I not want to go to the court hearing? But the sheriff's department took it upon themselves to call my personal telephone number when I was at the tobacco emporium, and I walked over there and they decided they didn't want me at the court hearing. Now, I know what intimidation is. And I know that when it's mail and publication and a personal telephone call from the sheriff's office, you didn't want me to go to the court hearing. Now, that's harassment. See, you don't do all three. You can do mail, pursuant to court order, yes. You can do personal service where the sheriff's department calls you and serves you without intimidating. Ooch, that's a little aggressive, isn't it? Now, I thought since you called me, yes, that you would have made sure that I would have gotten service after the court hearing because you didn't want me to appear in court. And since I was making my own personal decisions during that time, and I had a few days before the court was going to have a court hearing on August 30th of 2013. Yes. Now, I have that same phone, And I probably could look up the phone number of the sheriff's department in Sequim, Washington, and find out the exact day or time. Yes. Now, when you didn't serve me after the court hearing, yes. 10 weeks later, 9 weeks later, yes. Did I know what the restraint provisions were, and did I know when it was going to expire? No. So when I left Clallam County and moved to Centralia, what did I think? Oh, I thought it expired in 1 year because we have 5 children in common. It was a big surprise to me when I walked into the Port Angeles Police Department on approximately August 25th of 2014 and found out it had been issued for 2 years. Now, August 30th of 2013. Oh, return of service. Yes, sheriff's return of service on August 21st of 2013. Was there any reason for the sheriff's department to call me on the telephone when I had read that it was in the newspaper? Because I Google my name quite often and I could find it. So really, I think you did know that I was going to appear in court, and you took that additional step of having the sheriff's department call me on my personal cell phone and then have proof of the return of service of the sheriff's department on 8/21 of 2013. So as to make sure that I got the message that you did not want me to go to the court hearing. Yes. And then you intentionally, did not want me to know the restraint provisions, and you did not want me to know when the order expires. Yes. Because you did not attempt to serve me until November 8th of 2013 when you did know I had left the county. Because I thought it was issued for 1 year. But when I got back and I actually spoke to Brian Smith at the police department, yes, and he gave me a copy of it, I found out that I could be homeless for a whole nother year until it would expire. Well, what happened on June 1st of 2015? The ex parte party did or did not motion the court to reissue it. I think she didn't. So really, when you ordered the reissuance of the temporary protection order, myself being a homeless man that happens to be very patient, not wanting to have mental health evaluations, because I don't need psychotropic medication. See, you don't understand how patient I have been. I've waited years and years and years and years and years for you to realize that when you called me on the telephone, you mailed it, but it was not deliverable, and you put it in publication. Yes, and I had read that it was in publication. Then it was my decision to appear or not appear in court. But you wanted me to not appear in court, and you did not want me to have a copy of it. That's why you waited to not serve me after it had been issued.